So here's the deal. So I went to the salon and my goal was to soften my hair a little bit because I have a lot of gray.
Yeah.
But this is how it turned out.
Okay.
So
Okay, what do you not like about it right now?
just the color. Like
The tone of it?
Yes, like
Okay.
this is more like blonde. So I want it to be, because as you can see my hair is really dark.
Yeah.
So even though maybe soften it a little bit and then kind of, I don't know, blend in the gray, because I have a lot of gray like in the front, but
Yeah.
not too much.
Yeah.
But I want it to kind of stay a little bit true to my color, so when my hair grows out, it's not so, like the color is like, you can tell right now, it's like this
Yeah.
is dark and then
Yeah.
this is like really light. So
Okay.
yeah, but I'm more of like the ashy or dark.
As much as possible.
Yeah, just so I could stay true with my color at the top, but then as you can see I have a lot of gray in the front. Or something like this, but maybe dark. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Okay,
Yeah.
something similar. Well, right now you have very solid here, so
Right.
you can blend the root
Okay.
and just try to get this light enough to just be an ashy tone at all.
Okay.
If your hair doesn't get light enough, are you open to doing a violet-y tone, like a violet gray, until like you kind of get your hair
Yes.
lighter and lighter each time? Because
Yeah, I know, can we kind of talk about it, that
Yeah.
it might take a little bit.
Yeah.
And as you can see, it's like, it's so dry. So I started using the Amicus shampoo and conditioner that you
yeah,
had recommended, and
Are
then
you-
also the Tannin and Liver. Yeah,
are you using the Cure one?
yes.
Yes. Do you like it?
Yes, I
Yeah.
do, actually. This is like a lot better.
Yeah, it
That-
doesn't feel as dry as I was
Yeah.
imagining.
No, it was really dry
Before.
Yeah, before we talked. And you're like, you recommended the shampoo. I was like, oh, I gotta get that. Yeah,
Good, I'm so glad.
so it's a lot better.
Okay, so then today we'll work on breaking up the root.
Okay.
How often are you looking to come in for your touch-ups? About 3 months? 4
Yeah.
months?
That sounds good, or whatever your
Okay,
recommendations are.
that's
I'm
normally
open.
what most people do. The reason why I
Yeah.
asked that is because you don't have, you said you have a lot of gray in the front, but it's not like chunky. It's
Yes.
not like chunks of white.
Right.
So we could do it lighter in the front, but I wouldn't do it too bold since you have more dark in the
Yes.
front. So would you want it to be the same blend all over, or you want it a little bit lighter in the front?
What are your recommendations?
I
I
would
mean,
just-
I'm open to.
Generally, like doing it same blend, you can
Mhm.
go longer. That's why I asked how long you want to
Okay.
go in between appointments. If you were looking to go like 6 months, I would go do the front lighter. But if
Okay.
you're coming in every 3 or 4 months, you could still do the front a little bit lighter,
Okay.
but nothing too chunky or bold.
I think the 3 to 4 months is
Okay,
fine. Yeah.
then we'll do that. I'll do it a little bit lighter, but nothing too chunky or bold, and that way it blends really soft when the
Mhm.
roots grow in.
Okay.
But that generally looks prettier when it's just like a little bit lighter, and
Yeah.
then it gets more dimensional towards the
Okay.
back. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week I have a new client who is wanting to do some gray blending. From what you can see in the video, she has some old grown out highlights that are a little bit on the brassier side. She has different tones in her hair from the previous highlights, and then she has about, I would say, like a good amount of regrowth to kind of help blend her grays. She doesn't have a ton of gray hair in my opinion. Like, she definitely has a lot more dark with more like subtle sprinkles of gray here and there, and she's really just looking for something that's gonna just grow out nicely. So with her foil placement, I am starting in the back. We are going to be doing a full foil placement because I want something that is going to help blend out the color, since the blonde previously done was done pretty solid. I am going to be going in and doing a full and just trying to pick out any dark spots that are in between those highlights as well. As I was kind of going through her hair, just no disrespect to the hairdresser before, but I did notice that maybe her highlights, just the highlight pattern was done a little bit inconsistently, meaning like some parts of her highlights had like dark patches throughout the mids and ends, and sometimes I feel like when that can happen when someone switches up a highlight pattern or is unable to really pick out a lot of the dark that's going through those mids and ends. And over time, if you keep doing that on a client that has like foil work done, it can create some unwanted warmth and patches of dark within the highlights on the mids and ends. So I always think it's really important to take the extra time to kind of pick out the dark on those mids and ends before highlighting the root of whatever you're doing. And as you can see, I'm carefully picking up any previous dark and trying to just get that part lightened as I go throughout her hair. I know this is going to be a process, and again, no disrespect to whoever did her hair before, but it was just a little bit of work to kind of pick out some of those dark spots, and it happens. I feel like the reason why I like doing the same placement on majority of my clients is to kind of avoid that issue where you run into when you're highlighting to kind of grab. I don't know, for my other like fellow stylists out there, when you do a highlight such as this and you feel like those mids and ends are like super woven, or you can't quite figure out what the highlight pattern was previously, and it's really hard to kind of pick through the light and the dark because you don't want to overlap on those previous blonde pieces, yet you don't want to leave those dark pieces. So you're kind of picking through something that's super woven is not always going to be 100% perfect. But if it's too woven and you leave too much dark, sometimes you can leave some dark patches, and that's kind of what I was noticing as I was going through this client's hair. And so as I'm doing my signature placement where we're doing the back and then following it up doing a mohawk section all the way up the back and following up towards the front, I'm just kind of creating a roadmap per se, so that next time when she comes in, it's going to be a lot easier for me to retouch her hair and still kind of correct her old highlights, because some pieces in her old highlights were left not lightened all the way. Some pieces of it had patches of dark in the middle of an area that should be more solid blonde. So this was going to be more of a project correction to kind of get her to where she essentially wants to be. So my main priority right now is to just blend out her roots, very dimensional as much as possible. So another thing that I feel like I've noticed too versus when I first started doing hair and now doing hair, I've been doing hair now for about like 9 years, and I feel like in the beginning I really did struggle with trying to find what worked for me in my placement. And in the beginning I was experimenting a lot with different placements, different foil patterns and weave techniques, and this is just a personal preference for me, but I started to realize when you do a baby light that is just so finely weaved, it's really hard to retouch it next time. Like in theory, when you first do it, it looks super seamless and blended, but later down the line, when they come back for that touch up, if it's too woven together or too hard for you to pick out, that's when you can run into this type of problem where it's really hard to kind of differentiate and pick out what's blonde and what's dark, what needs to be highlighted and what needs to be picked out. And eventually the mids and ends, as you retouch that client, you'll start to see that there's inconsistency within the blonde parts running through from root to end. And to avoid that, what I do personally is I usually try not to take a section that is smaller than a small weave to where I can pick it out. So if it's anything thinner than a section or a weave that I can visually pick out, I feel like that is a little bit too small or thin. So if I want to get that baby light effect, there's a couple things that you can do. You can take a very thin micro slice that gives you that baby light effect, and that's a lot easier to pick out and differentiate where to highlight. Or you can do a small weave, but a small enough to where you can still like pick out the dark clearly. so that when you do her touch up next time, it's really easy to pick out what needs to be highlighted versus what was highlighted last time. So after I do her root foils, I'm going to be going in and pretty much picking out any more brown or darker pieces in her hair on the mids and ends to kind of brighten them up, get her hair a little bit more even. I let her root lighten to about a level 9 and 10, and then everything else that I kind of left out, I decided to leave them out because they were lifted to about a level 8 and up, and I felt like I could definitely brighten those up with doing pretty much a wet balayage at the bowl. So anything that was like a level 7 and below, I definitely tried to pick them out as much as possible, put them in a foil and tip them out to kind of brighten them and make it all even, because I knew I was going to go back in, do a shadow root and do a wet balayage to kind of just help brighten everything together and get it a little bit more even. So whenever I do a wet balayage, I always like to apply the shadow root first because I want to have that root sitting and processing while the ends are getting nice and bright. So for her root shadow, I'm going to be using the Danger Jones gloss toners. We did a 5-1 with 6-01, and that's going to just kind of melt the highlights with her natural hair color and just give her the most longevity for this type of color and gray blending technique. And then after that, right now you can see I'm going back in and doing the wet balayage. I kind of just section. It doesn't have to be super thin sections. I'm just kind of going in, trying to basically just brighten any pieces a little bit more and just kind of get it a little bit lighter so that it's ready for the rest of the toner. And then for her toner formulation, I did a mixture of silver and violet to kind of create more of like a purpley gray tone. She wanted something that was going to be long lasting, and I felt like doing a more violet tone would give her a little bit more time before it fully fades out, and then she's due back in. But I feel like doing a more violet gray ash tone always kind of helps keep the hair a little bit more neutral and ashy, especially when you're working with hair that isn't fully a clean level 9 and 10, because previously what she had going on had different levels in the hair, and it was a little bit hard to kind of get it perfectly even on this first try. But I always try my best to kind of create something that is going to last the longest, and I felt like the more violet gray side of this toner would definitely help with that.
Ooh,
Feels good?
yes.
A lot ashier, and then the roots look softer.
Much better.
Yeah, your roots look so much nicer now.
I know.
Alrighty guys, so here is the finished look. I absolutely love the way that the shadow root kind of just melts the color right into her root. I already know based off my weave pattern, this is going to grow out really soft against her grays and just blend really pretty. And as this toner fades out, it will get lighter, it will get warmer. She can use some purple shampoo to kind of help reduce some of that warmth out as it fades out. But I did warn her that it will fade out a little bit on the warmer side because we are still working on picking out a lot of that residual warmth that she had from before. But I would say after for a first session, it did get a lot more even. We were able to pick out a lot more of that brown patches that were within the mids and ends from her previous highlights, and overall just create something that is going to fade and grow out really soft against her natural gray roots and give her the most longevity for this type of color. Alrighty guys, that is it for this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and as always, I will talk to you guys next week.